Ms. Thayer, you are here today in hopes of saving what is left of your marriage. In doing so, you've summoned your husband, Mr. Thayer, to paternity court to prove that not only did he father your 19-month-old daughter, Cadence, but also your 3-year-old son, Matthew Jr. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Thayer, you say you absolutely do not trust your wife, and you are prepared to get a divorce today when the results reveal that either one or both kids are not yours.
That's correct, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Thayer, what is the current status of your relationship with your husband?
We don't even have sex anymore. What married couple doesn't have sex? We're young. It's the back and forth, arguing all the time. We argue so much that my son is starting to get mad and yell and repeat some of the stuff that we say. And I want to prove to him that these are his kids. I've done nothing wrong to him for him not to trust me, and for him to say that these aren't his kids. And I have 5 kids total, and he treats the 3 oldest kids better than he treats his own kids. And I don't feel like that's fair. And I mean, this is the last resort.
So this doubt is wreaking havoc in your marriage.
Yeah, in my mind, we're basically separated because we don't sleep in the same room no more. When we're around each other, she's on her phone, and we just sit in the same house, and we don't even communicate no more. So I don't feel that connection with her or the kids, for that matter.
And all of this is because of the doubts.
Yes, Your
with
Honor.
regard to the paternity of the 2 youngest children.
Yes, Your Honor.
I want to understand how this all started.
When we first met, she told me that it was clear that she did not want a relationship. She just wanted friends with benefits, and I wanted the same thing. I didn't want a relationship at that time.
Ms. Thayer, what's this open thing? You do what you do, I do what we do, we in a relationship. What is that about?
I've been in some really bad relationships to where I just didn't trust men. I even went through a phase where I started dating girls for a little while.
So what you're saying is this whole open thing that you agreed to was not because you wanted to have access and opportunity to sleep with other people. It was so that you didn't have to expect fidelity or expect him to not cheat.
Yes, Your Honor.
At some point, you find out you're pregnant.
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor.
And what happens from there?
I didn't know what to say because I wasn't planning on having any more kids. I mean, I had 3 girls already, so I was already a single mom.
Were you all using protection?
No.
Well, then you were planning on having another baby.
That is correct.
Fail to plan to fail.
And then I believe she was pregnant before we even got together, because Matthew was born 3 weeks early, and she told me about 3 weeks in that she was pregnant. So that's where that doubt comes in for him.
So you felt like you met, you all were sleeping together, not using protection, but then when she came up pregnant, you thought it was a little too soon.
Yes, and that's after he was born that I started putting those pieces together.
You began doing the math.
Yes.
Ms. Thayer, I need to know from you, do you remember around which date you felt like you conceived Matthew?
I believe I conceived Matthew September 10th. And the reason that I feel that way is because that night he had a hotel party, and after his friends left, we stayed and we had sex about 3 or 4 times that night alone. I mean, he knows my conception date. This is not new to him.
So your conception date, you say, was around September 10th?
Yes.
All right, 2012. So if we calculate, the child should be born somewhere between June 2nd and June 9th. When was Matthew born?
May 18th.
Oh, so there's your doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
And look, babies do come early. But you claim she was with somebody else approximately 3 weeks before.
Yeah.
See, you feel emotional because
it hurts. I mean, I love him or I wouldn't have married him. This is the person that I want to spend my life with.
This is my first child too, Your Honor. I was excited because I didn't have no kids, I didn't have a family or anything, and she was gonna give that to me. And I wanted that. This is something that I really do want. I want a family of my own that I can grow with, and I can watch them grow, and I can teach them all the things that they're supposed to do in their life that I didn't do in mine.
And so why do you doubt her so much?
Just because of some of the things that she says. When we do get in arguments, she brings up the fact that she would sleep with somebody else. That's like puts a big seed in my head, thinking that she's gonna go do that. And I work 11-hour days. So there's plenty of time during the day for her to put the kids down to sleep and go mess with somebody, clean up, and then I come home and give her a kiss like I normally do when I come home.
So because of these trust issues, you've asked the court to administer a lie detector test.
Yes.
We did, in fact, do that, and I will have those results for you in just a bit.
Thank you.
All right. I'd like to go to your doubt surrounding Cadence. That is your younger child. You all have 2 children together, potentially.
Yeah, because around the time that she was conceived, we weren't really having sex.
You find out she's pregnant again, and immediately doubt.
Yes. How are we gonna have a kid if we don't have sex?
So you testified earlier, Ms. Thayer, that you were in a sexless marriage.
Yes. I mean, when he's talking about with Cadence, I uprooted my whole life for him. So for me to uproot my whole life and do all of this stuff for him, and then for him to turn around and say stuff like, I have doubts, I don't think that these are, I'm only around you, I'm not around anybody else. I don't see why you would think I would waste my time.
But I don't know that, Your Honor.
That doesn't,
I'm not so certain that she's only with me, because
But-
I'm not there all day, every day with her.
we lived with
But
his
what he
family.
was saying is during that trip, he claims you weren't intimate.
We were at least 4 times, we were.
In the house that we were staying in, it was my aunt's house in Mexico, so it was almost impossible for us to be intimate.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. When you talk about your lack of trust, it's real. I can see it in your eyes. You really don't trust her.
Yes.
What in the world has gotten you to the point
Well,
where you can't trust this woman?
I seen text messages between her and somebody else, old times they spent together and how much fun they had. It just leads me to one thought, and she's talking to another man.
He doesn't understand. I wouldn't have married him. I've been in so many relationships throughout my life that I chose him to marry. This is the person that I chose to marry. This is the person
And
that
I chose
to
you
spend
too.
my life
Like, you
with.
weren't the only one. Like,
But not as much as I've caught him in his phone. We were having sex one night and he rolls over. We haven't even put our clothes on yet. And he's texting another woman. He loves her. So you've never seen me text I love you to anyone else.
this was after after I seen the messages that she was sending. So when I seen that she wasn't all the way faithful with me, of course I'm not gonna be all the way faithful with somebody else. And
He's just started unlocking his phone since we got married. He just started unlocking his phone. His phone has been
That's
locked
not
our
true.
whole relationship until around the time, about a month and a half before we got married, then he unlocks his phone.
That's
I knew
not
how to
true.
get in his phone, but his phone stayed locked. It stayed locked.
my phone did not have
Well,
lock.
now you know. She knows how to get in your phone. Mr. Thayer, as I listen to this testimony, do you think this is insecurity or infidelity? Because they're 2 different things.
The arguments that we had when she was first pregnant with Matthew, about a month into the pregnancy, is when she saw those messages, and we did actually separate for about 3 months.
Have you ever been cheated on in the past?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Because I lost trust in all women as far as relationships go.
But that's not my fault though. So that's like me saying, I've been in a bunch of relationships.
But the things that you say when we get in arguments, though, that's what I'm talking about.
Tat, and I get petty sometimes. I absolutely do. But a lot of the stuff that you've done, what you need to realize, a lot of the stuff that you've done has hurt me a lot. And I'm tired of being hurt. I'm tired of walking on eggshells. I'm tired of being miserable. It's not fair. It's not
you're not
fair
the only
to my
one in this,
daughter.
though.
It's not fair to our son. It's not fair at all. I wouldn't have named your son after you. I wouldn't have gave you a junior if I'm 1,000% sure that these are your kids.
And that's why I'm here, so I can find that out for sure.
Ms. Thayer, you were in court today saying you have never cheated on your husband.
I have never cheated on him. The only time that I've ever messed with anybody else is the break that he's talking about, because what happened was when I saw that text in his phone that I told you about, I asked him about it. He just shrugged his shoulders like it didn't matter. And that's all that I got out of him. I didn't get a why. I asked him why he was doing it. Do you not want to be together? Like, what is the issue?
I did tell you
because
when we had
I've
that
been
argument.
a single mom for so long that I'm not trying to go into another relationship and then just be like, oh, well, I'm going to be a single mom again. That's not what I want. He's attached to my other kids.
And that's why these DNA results mean so much, because it's not just about Matthew and Cadence.
This is not boyfriend and girlfriend. We took vows to be together, and I'm gonna stand by those. I'm going to stand by those. These are his kids.
And
And this is gonna make or break us.
Because you're prepared, Mr. Thayer, that you are going to leave if these children are not yours.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm supporting 3 of the kids that aren't mine, and I don't want to feel played in this situation to where I'm supporting the whole household and nobody's related to me. Nobody's my seed and to carry on my legacy. So.
All right, we're going to
do
get
it.
to the DNA results in just a moment, but first I want to get to the lie detector. So we did, in fact, have her meet with a licensed polygraph expert. Let me have those lie detector results,
Yes,
please.
Judge.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Thayer, I have to ask you, is there anything you'd like to tell us before I read these results?
Like I said, the only people that I messed with was during the break that we had that he's talking about where I moved out.
Okay. Ms. Thayer, you were asked, in the last 4 years, have you had sexual contact with anyone other than the 2 men you have previously disclosed? You said no. The lie detector determined you were being deceptive. Question number 2, since the first time you had sex with Matthew Sr., have you had sexual intercourse with anyone other than him since then? You said no. The lie detector determined you were being deceptive. Mr. Thayer?
See, you just gave me my answers. So that just puts more doubt in my mind that these kids aren't mine. Because Matthew doesn't look anything like me, neither does Cadence.
They look just like you. Everything, the chin, the cheeks, the shape of the face, everything.
Well, obviously you're lying, so we can't believe you. So.
Wow.
So, Ms. Thayer, this is difficult. Now, you pretty much failed both questions on the lie detector test. And that's why you're here in court today.
I understand.
You heard the phrase, the truth shall set you free. I'm going to ask you to free yourself and tell the truth. What is the truth? Because I could see that smirk on your face.
I've never cheated on him, but like I said during the break, it may have been more than 2 people. But I've never cheated on him. Like, I've never cheated on him while we were together.
She's lying about that. What else is she lying
The
about?
2.
Okay. So this is going way beyond. I see your body language. I sit in this bench day after day, and I know when people aren't being fully honest. It's all over you.
I see that too,
Is
Your
there
Honor.
anything
It's the
else
1000.
you need to say?
I mean, I've done stuff to hurt him because he hurt me, and in the end, I'm only hurting them. And that's it. So, I mean, right now, it's not about me. It's not about my feelings. It's not about us. It's about our kids. And I need him to know that these are his kids.
And the last 4 years of my life weren't just wasted.
So as you talk about doing things to hurt him because you felt hurt, do you really know who both of these children, who their father is?
I am 1,000% sure that they are his kids.
And we've heard that 1,000 times too. So we know that the kids looking like me is not always 100% accurate. And then when people say they're 1,000% sure, it always goes left. At the end of the day, if they're not mine, I'm not gonna be with somebody I can't trust. And hopefully this fixes it, because I do have feelings for her, Your Honor. And I've spent like the last 4 years of my life, I've lost my family behind her, because they don't approve of her having multiple kids.
They don't approve of my color, my skin color. It's not, I've been harassed in my inbox on Facebook. I've been harassed face to face by his family about the color of my skin.
And I've addressed all those instances, Your Honor. I've told them all, and that's one of the reasons why I don't talk to them, because if they can't approve, if they can't be happy for me because I'm happy, then I don't need them in my life. Blood or not, I mean.
So you've pretty much chosen her over your family?
Yes, Your Honor. Behind these kids, because I thought I was going to have a family and I thought I was going to be able to build something with her. But the doubts in my mind, I need to put to rest.
All right. That's what we're here to do. And I'll say the stakes could not be any higher here. Ron, I'd like to go to the results, please. We have 2 results.
There you go, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. The first result is for Cadence. In the case of Thayer v. Thayer, when it comes to 19-month-old Cadence Thayer, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Thayer, you are the father.
I told you.
One of them, one of the 2.
I told you.
We still need Matthew. Just because one of them's mine doesn't mean I'm going to stay.
It's the first time I've seen you smile today.
Yeah, I'm happy.
I have the second result for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Thayer versus Thayer, when it comes to 3-year-old Matthew Thayer Jr., it has been determined by this court, Mr. Thayer, you are the father.
I told you.
Can I give her a hug?
Absolutely.
I love you too.
I'm at ease now.
You look like it.
Yeah.
I could see you over there. You were a bundle of nerves. You really didn't know.
No. And that put a big old wedge between us. I think counseling would help that out.
We have that for you. I want to say this to you both. You're still married.
Yes.
So you still have a shot at this.
I do want to have a family, and I do want to build with her. And this just solidifies the fact that I'm not going to go nowhere.
Ms. Barrett, you stand before the court 6 months pregnant, not knowing who fathered your baby. During the period of conception, you say you slept with 2 men multiple times, including the defendant, Mr. Mullinax. Furthermore, you're asking the court to award you $779 for items you've purchased to prepare for the baby's arrival. You say you believe Mr. Mullinax is also responsible for these expenses because he may be the father. Mr. Mullinax, you say you refuse to pay anything for an unborn child that isn't yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
You deny paternity and claim Ms. Barrett had sex with you, her ex-boyfriend, and several other men.
Yes, ma'am.
All during the period of conception.
Yes.
So, Ms. Barrett, please tell the court, how did you end up in this situation?
Over a 3-month period, I was sleeping with 2 different guys, my ex-boyfriend and Mr. Mullinax. Within like 3 months, I slept with them, both of them, about 50 to 60 times.
50 to 60?
Yes.
50 to 60 times each?
No, I was sleeping with Mr. Mullinax Thursday through Monday, and sleeping with my ex-boyfriend roughly Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
On a weekly schedule?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, before I even get to that, take me back. How did you meet?
I met Mr. Mullinax through my ex-boyfriend. His wife, his current wife, which he's still married to, is
Oh.
is
plot
my
thickens.
ex-boyfriend's family member.
And this is the ex-boyfriend you were sleeping with?
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
He was still with his wife at the time. Whenever we were going out, we were doing double dates.
That's a lie.
And he was coming up to me on the double dates at bars and the tanning salon and different places that we were together, asking me if he left his wife, would I be with him, and that him and his wife were having trouble and that he wanted to be with me instead of his wife.
I've never said any of that stuff.
What happened? I mean, tell me,
When
you're
I,
a coward.
when I first met her, she was with my wife, one of my wife's family members, which I'm going through a divorce now with her. And I walked in and he introduced me to her, and I could tell from the first statement she made that she was a complete airhead. So he took me in the back bedroom.
Wait a minute. You're talking about Ms. Barrett?
Yes, ma'am.
How did this progress? And you're married.
Well, me and my wife separated, and after we separated, that's when I began my relationship with her.
Okay.
I went over to her house. The first time I went over there, within 20 minutes, we were in the bedroom.
Okay. So you had sex right away?
Yes, the first time I actually met her, the guy she was dating showed me a bunch of pictures, of naked pictures she had sent him in the
that's
phone.
the way that he got
They had
into
been
my
seeing each other,
bedroom.
for only maybe 2 to 3 days at that time, so I figured if it was easy for him, it'd be easy for me.
So you tried it.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Barrett, did you sleep with the man within 20 minutes?
Yes. Yes, I did. But the way that he, I just took Mr. Mullinax as being a very truthful and honest person, and that he wouldn't, lie to me and deceive me and do me wrong, which he has now.
And when
Because
you
of-
first
because
found
of
out
this
you were
guy
pregnant,
texting me.
who did you say was the father?
Mr. Mullinax.
You just said that immediately.
Yeah.
And why is that? Because you knew it was a distinct possibility that your ex-boyfriend could be the father as well.
Because he was incarcerated, so I didn't even want to think about that option, really. Mr.
So
Mullinax.
was it really about you being convinced Mr. Mullinax was the father, or the fact that you just wanted him to be the father because he was available to help you take care of the baby?
Pretty much because he was available.
Listen,
Because
Your
I
Honor,
could-
she sent me a text and said she was pregnant. The next day, she said she had a miscarriage, and then 2 days later, she was pregnant
That is a
again.
lie.
So
I've
I've
never
had
said
doubts
that.
the
Yes,
whole
you did.
time.
You sent the
When
text.
her and I first got
No.
together, I saw multiple text messages in her phone from other guys talking about, when are you going to let me get another one of those world famous. Her reputation around the city was that she was good at things like that. I mean, that's pretty much what led
So
me
I
to believe
guess
that it'd be
that's
easy
why
to
I
do.
need you to use respectful language in the courtroom. But Ms. Barrett,
I apologize.
were you getting text messages from multiple men asking you for sexual favors and encounters? We'll put it like that.
No,
Yes,
it
ma'am,
was
she
not.
was.
It was not sexual encounters. I was getting multiple messages from men and stuff like that, but they were all my friends and stuff.
Okay, so Mr. Mullinax, when she told you she was pregnant, what was your reaction?
I automatically assumed it wasn't mine because I knew I wasn't the only man she was sleeping with.
But you knew you could be a possibility,
A
right?
possibility, yes, ma'am. The ratio just goes to show, you know, that more than likely I'm not the father.
The ratio.
Yeah, I mean, compared
You
to
did
her sleeping, how many
mathematics?
guys? Yes, ma'am, kind of. Because I mean, if you're sleeping with so many people, how can you tell who the baby's dad is just by, you know, just your ultimate
But
guess?
there were two, she says, so that's math of 50-50, which is a great probability.
I understand that, but I really don't believe it's my kid.
Oh my goodness. So did you just sleep together that one time? I don't think so because Miss Barrett had outlined the calendar. Oh,
Yes, yes, Your Honor. I have the calendar here.
Jerome. Miss Barrett, this is the most symmetrical
Yes.
color block calendar I have ever seen in this courtroom.
If you look at that calendar, you'll see, I mean, it's clear. Me, him, him, me, him, him. There's no telling whose baby that is. She couldn't get off her back long enough to decide who she wanted her baby's daddy to be.
Mr. Mullinax, even though it may be a painful truth, let's be respectful in the courtroom.
Yes, ma'am.
There's no way to deny this is way too much sex for a young girl to be having with two different men, Miss Barrett. And you're upset now. What are your emotions? You feel what?
Just a month ago, he was telling me that we were going to be together and that we were going to be a family. And just last week, we just had sex last week, and he was telling me that he wanted to be a
With
family.
Mr.
No, that's not
Mullinax?
true.
Yes.
A month ago, I went to her house. I got drunk. I made a mistake. I went over there. And yeah, we ended up having sex.
No.
I mean, I told her what she wanted to hear just to get what I wanted, but I do not
So
want to be
wait
with
a
her.
minute. That means what she's saying is true. You were just selling her a dream, saying we're gonna be together.
Yes, ma'am.
And he's done that the whole entire time. For the last, 6 months, he's done that.
Why would you do that to her?
I mean, really, there's no explanation for it besides the fact that, I mean, it's just easy to go to get, you know, when I need.
All right. A man will say about anything to get you in the bed. You understand?
Yes.
And look, this calendar is way too full. Why is it the exact same days each week and then the weekend?
Mr. Mullinax had a job at the time, so therefore he would come over on the weekends and leave on Monday nights. So he wasn't there during the week most of the time. 'Cause he
So
was at
then you'd
work.
be with your,
My boyfriend.
and where would your boyfriend think you were on the weekends?
He wasn't around. He was just out hanging out with his friends and stuff like that.
And this went on for an entire month?
Yeah.
So ultimately, when you looked at the calendar during the week of conception, you actually did sleep with Mr. Mullinax and your ex-boyfriend in that week, so you truly don't know, just like he said.
Yeah, I have no clue. Today's the first day he's ever admitted that there's even a possibility. A couple weeks ago, I found out that I'm having a little boy. I don't want to raise this little boy by myself. I don't want it to not have a father figure
You need
in
to
his
find out
life.
who its daddy is,
And
then.
so that's why I'm here today, is to find out who the father is.
Did you grow up with a father?
Yes, I did.
And so you know how important that is.
Right. Yes, and I want that for my son.
Mr. Mullinax, I'm ready to hear from your witness. Ma'am, please stand. State your name.
Paige Huffman.
You're his girlfriend.
Yes.
Okay.
ma'am.
Now, why is it you instantly started crying when she stood up?
She's just trouble. Like, she's just trouble. And he's sitting there saying he loves her and stuff. She's really just another notch in his belt. Like, she's nothing. She's nobody
Well, I mean,
special.
look, you don't know what
know?
goes on between our relationship.
I know
and
what he tells me.
I had done
I
something.
know what he tells
And
me.
you said for the past
you-
6
no,
months, I
you
don't care
only
what you're
know-
saying. You need to let me speak for a second.
Okay, and you know for a
Well, I
fact
don't-
he's been
I don't
over
give
at the
a damn. We
house.
slept
Do
with
you
you
not?
one time.
Okay, let's
You-
get some order.
I
I'm trying to understand,
I
Ms. Hoffman. So
apologize.
what do you know about the situation? What do you have to add? Ms. Hoffman, so what do you know about the situation? What do you have
She
to
had
add?
called and asked to speak with Mr. Mullinax, and I put it on speakerphone and let her speak with him.
Okay.
Well, she said that might not be his baby, that, you know, she still wanted his support. And, you know, she needed closure for why he didn't want to be with her.
So, Ms. Hoffman, you do understand and you realize Mr. Mullinax has admitted to you that he has slept with her, he said about a month ago, she said last week.
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you all been
That's the
together?
first I heard about last week because I asked her myself.
But did you ask him?
You
Yeah,
called
I
like
asked him. I talked to him
obsessive
every day. I
girlfriend.
asked him daily. But like, just like
She
whenever he
calls and
cheated
stalks
last
my
month,
phone
whenever
and
he went and slept
everything.
with her, then of course he's gonna deny it.
Let's calm down for a second. Mr. Mullinax, you got real quiet on me.
Just a little bit, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
What exactly is going on here? Did you, in fact, sleep with Miss Barrett a week ago?
No, we did not have sex a week ago. It's been a month ago, and I was drunk when it happened. I mean, that's a mistake I made
And
when I
who's
was
to say that
drinking.
I'm
You know,
the
I know
only
there's no
person?
excuse for what I did. I mean, the truth comes out no matter what. But the fact of the matter is, I do not want to be with her. I told her what she wanted to do.
And
at
Miss
the
Barrett,
moment.
are you saying that he did tell you that you all were going to be together?
Yes, he did. He said that we were going to be a family and that he wanted a fresh start.
Ultimately, you've gone through and you are still going through this pregnancy all alone.
Yes, I am. I went to go get an ultrasound and everything by myself and all. Like, he says he's going to be
Why
there
would I
and
go to
everything,
an
but he
ultrasound when I don't
doesn't
even think it's my baby?
Believe me, I understand your doubt.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't understand it.
Thank you.
But wouldn't it just behoove you to play a part of some sort just in case it is until you found out?
All that's going to do is ruin my relationship that I'm in now. If it's not mine, I want her out of my life. I don't want to have to deal with her for 18 years, so I'm really hoping this comes back where it's not my kid.
You know, Miss Barrett, it really gets under my skin when I see young women like you that have literally given yourself away. You have given yourself away. And now you stand at this podium by yourself, going to doctor's appointments by yourself, after you done gave away a month's worth of days and nights with two men that are not, will not, or cannot be a part of it and share it with you. And I hope this is a learning lesson for you. Now, you also have come to court saying that you are petitioning the court for $779 because you've had to purchase all the items on your own to prepare for the baby.
Yes, I currently cannot work, and my family, both my sister and my mother, both have been purchasing items and stuff for the baby, which I'm having to pay them back once.
So basically what it is, you're
Because
taking a
it's-
loan. They're buying you the
buying
things
these
and you've
things.
agreed to pay them back at a
Right.
later date.
Yes.
So your suit is for $779.
I do not feel like I should have to pay for a baby that I don't even know if it's mine.
You're not going to be responsible for this amount unless this child is determined to be your biological child, and that's just it.
I understand that.
I have photos of everything.
That has been purchased.
Uh-huh,
Jerome, will
and
you please
everything
hand
is-
me that?
Everything's listed in the amount.
It's a funny thing, I was just over there a week ago and I didn't see anything laying around that looked brand new.
Oh!
So you're saying that she was over there?
I wanted to talk to her and decide what we were going to do if this was my child.
So wait a minute. After an entire month of Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays, and last month's slip up, suddenly now last week you went over there and just went over there to talk.
Yes, ma'am.
I find that hard to believe. You said you were intimate with this girl 20 minutes after you met her. So obviously you all don't do a lot of talking, and that's
No.
exactly what she said.
I know, that's the truth. That's the
We're
way it
just-
did happen in the beginning, but not last week.
No, we just get drunk and have fun and have sex, and let's be real about it, Dustin.
That's
mean,
what's
really.
happened for the past 6 months, but it didn't happen last
For the
week.
past 6
Okay.
months.
Well, when we were together, I'm not talking about.
Yeah.
No.
We hear a murmur from the choir.
That is not.
Stand up for a minute, Miss Huffman. Are some facts becoming evident to you that you didn't know?
I mean, you know, I already know that there's a possibility. You know, I mean, I love him, or otherwise I wouldn't have gave him another chance. And you keep on smirking, and I don't like it. I know that she does not want him to be with me, or otherwise she wouldn't have
care.
said. She wouldn't have told me if they was just like friends, just wanting to have a good time. Whenever I called, she wouldn't have been like, yes, we did, and try and tell me
Why, because
everything
I'm
that
a
she
woman?
can
Miss
to get us
Huffman?
to separate.
Because
Now
I'm a woman?
I understand that that's my
I'm not gonna
stupidity
lie.
to stay with him after that happened. But if this is his baby, you know, it might ruin our relationship because I can't deal
You've
with
already
her.
told me that.
Okay. Miss Huffman, you can take a
Yeah,
seat,
thank you.
and we can go to the results. I think it's time.
There you go, Judge.
These results may in fact be emotional, and so Ms. Barrett, you're more than welcome to take a seat. Okay. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. When it comes to the paternity of Sasha Barrett's unborn child, Mr. Mullinax, you are the father. Boy, if you don't get over there and at least see if she's okay and she's carrying your child over there crying, step over there.
I'm sorry about it. You hear me? And I'm gonna help you take care of this baby.
Now, she's been by herself. She done stood up here by herself. She has admitted her secrets, her shame, and basically told more than most women in this world would ever admit to. In the name of finding out who her child's father is. So now, Mr. Mullinax, she came to this courtroom saying there was $779 worth of items purchased for the baby, which means that you are responsible for half of that, $389.50.
I understand. And now that I know this is my child, I'm gonna do what I have to do and take care of my responsibilities.
And listen, Ms. Barrett, don't you be a fool and lay down with this man based upon some promise that he's gonna be there for the baby, because he can be there for the baby, but that doesn't mean he's gonna be with you. Are we clear? Court is adjourned.